Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Sue.
Just thinking maybe you can introduce yourself to everyone and tell us a fun fact about yourself.
Okay. My name is Devi. I go to Educare Small School and I'm interested in homeopathy.
Wow, homeopathy. Why are you interested in homeopathy, Debbie?
I just find it really interesting about how there's like different ways you can make someone better and there's different remedies and there's all these sort of books that help you with that and then you read them and it's just really, I don't know why. It's just
That's amazing. I had no idea you're interested in homeopathy. That's really interesting. Okay, shall we have a few questions? I'll start off with an Educare question. Okay. So Debbie, I've just a couple of questions about Educare Small School, where you're a pupil, and I just wonder, what's the most important thing for you about Educare?
I think the most important thing is people there, they look out for you and they care for you in special ways and it, yeah, they sort of, it's kind of hard to explain. It's they take care of you and they do special things for you if you're struggling and they explain things in different ways if you're stuck. And that's, yeah.
That's brilliant. Would you recommend Educare as a school to anybody else? Somebody said to you, "Oh, I'm looking for a school for my children." Would you go, "Yes, go to Educare," or "No, don't go there"? Would you recommend it?
I would recommend it to anyone who would ask.
And why would you? How would you sell it to them? What would you say? You've got to go here because of this. What would you say?
I would say um, it's a school where you can be yourself, and it's a school where you would get um, lots of help if you need it, and it's a really kind school. And it's a small school, which can kind of be good in some ways because you get a lot of attention if you need it.
Okay, that's great. Is there anything that we do at Educare or anything that happens at Educare that you think you can use when you're not at school, when you're at home or when you're out and about? Does anything that we do make a difference to you outside of school?
Yeah, the because we do breathing and you can do it when you're like angry or upset or something, and I find that really really helpful because when I'm angry I just start to freak out and stuff, and when I'm by myself I start to do it and I start to calm down and it really really helps.
Oh yeah, okay, that's interesting. When you say you do breathing, can you explain to anybody who's watching this who doesn't know what you mean, a bit more about what that actually means, what that is, what you actually do?
um I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of, you kind of cross your arms, you cross your legs, and you bring it up and down when you breathe, and you do it slowly. And it's, I think it's part of Alexander technique, which is like this kind of thing that we do at school, where you do lazy eights and you do all sorts of fun stuff that help you. And you need to do like soft and tall because if you're slouchy and that makes you like, I don't know, angry or a bit sad. But if you're soft and tall and you do the breathing, you you're kind of happy and calm and relaxed.
That's a very good explanation, actually. of what we do. I think people will find that really interesting. I mean, can you remember, you know, you mentioned the ready list, yeah? So
Yeah.
can you, I think people watching this might not know what the ready list is that you just mentioned. I'm wondering if you can demonstrate for us what that is, how it works.
So the things that you have to do in the ready list are stop, see, breathe, soft and tall, and then you go. If you focus on see, you actually notice something. You don't like scan around. You actually notice something. Maybe you notice something that you didn't notice before, and um, when you um, and then when you breathe, you're like, well, you could do see and breathe together. You breathe really deeply, and then you let it all out, like in a blow, maybe. And with soft and tall, you're kind of, your head is kind of going up like a balloon, and your shoulders are kind of relaxed and they're down like runny custard. And how we remember it is floaty like a balloon, runny custard shoulders, and it kind of helps if you're doing something.
Great, that's a great explanation. Thank you. So every morning at Educare, we do movement circle. And I wondered if you could maybe, again, imagine you were explaining this to someone who doesn't know what it is and what it's for. I think you could explain it.
It wakes up your body for the morning and what you're going to do for the rest of the day. Like, for example, one of the things that we do in the beginning is we rub our collarbones like that way, like that, and we put our hand on our tummy to keep our blood flowing. And we do all these sort of stuff to, maybe if your fingers are stiff, we do brain gym, and we do stretching, we do balancing, and all these stuff that help you get ready for the day.
Brilliant.
And
Do you, I mean, this is a personal question for you. Do you find it makes a difference to you in any way? How does it affect you? Maybe it doesn't, but I just wondered how it affects you doing movement circle.
well, I'm pretty tired in the mornings because I wake up early, but it makes me more aware of things, and I find that I'm more awake than I am before movement circle. I'm like ready to go and focus, but like before I'm like I want to go back to bed.
Oh, that's great. So let's talk also about quiet time. That's another one of the weird things that we do at Educare. And again, I think that's something that if you were explaining what happens at Educare and you said, oh, and we do quiet time after lunch. And again, I think people would go, what? What's that? So how would you explain quiet time? What is it and what's it for?
Well, what we do for quiet time is we lay down in the hall with some calming music on, maybe a different language, and we lie down and we're in, and we kind of just focus on our own body. And we have two positions that we lie in. Well, one of them is first position, where you kind of go like that and then you cross your legs over. And then second position is like that and then you unfold your legs. And like it just, because playtime is like really mad, but if you do it, then it kind of calms you down and you're not as mad and, you know, crazy.
Yeah, you guys sometimes do come in a bit crazy after playtime. I've noticed that. And also something else happens at quiet time, doesn't it? And that sometimes I ask people to help, you know, or Esther or
Yeah.
Ellie will ask people to help if they're there, and sometimes you're a helper sometimes. And again, I think people might wonder what on earth's going on there, what's happening. Do you think you could, you know, explain how you see it, what you think about being a helper? What is it?
A helper is where you go to different people, you put your hands on their head, and you kind of like bring it out and make it soft, and then you maybe put them on the shoulders and you kind of bring them down really softly, because some shoulders, they're like really stiff and like not relaxed, and it because when you're lying down you don't really have a soft central body, but if you have that, then you can kind of relax more easily, because you don't you're not hurt, you're not like aching in any way. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it totally
Kind of.
makes sense. It really does. That's a great explanation, I think. So the other thing, oh yes, the other thing is lazy labyrinths. Yeah, so I mean, again, this is another kind of weird thing that only seems to go on at Educare. And I just wonder, you know, how would you explain to people what lazy labyrinths are and what they're for?
I don't really know what they're for, but I know what you do. So there's this lazy 8 that's on its side, and you put your finger around it like a few times. You start on the left, and inside there are these labyrinths that go like all swirly whirly, and you before you do each one, you do your ready list, because if you don't, then you'll do it really quickly and you won't go on the lines. And you and if you've done each one, then you do them both at the same time, and then you do them both out again. But I don't really know what it's for. I'm not exactly sure.
That's fine. That's fine.
I find
That's a very good and honest explanation. And incidentally, what we're hoping to do with it is to get you so that you are able to focus a bit more on the next thing that you go on and do. So if you're doing lazy labyrinths and then you go to do some reading or writing, that it's got your brain in a condition whereby it can then more easily focus on the next thing you're going to be doing. That's a simple explanation of why we do it, just for your information.
okay.
So let me see what else questions. Oh yeah, here's a good one. Right, I think. Devi, what could make Educare into a better school? How would you change it if you were able to do anything you wanted?
I mean, I already find it a really good school, but if it was just like a tiny, because it was a church before, and it was and I think if it was like a little bit bigger, then there would be more space to put things and to display things and do more stuff in it. Like if it was raining, for example, you could do stuff inside that maybe you couldn't do, because if it's small, then you can't really do much stuff like active stuff.
So that's all you changed, just the size, so the actual size of the building?
Yeah.
Would you have more people in the school or just a bigger building?
I mean, more people would mean more friends, and that's good, but not too many people, otherwise it would be really, really crowded and there wouldn't be enough space. But yeah, a few more people, it would be really nice. But
Okay. You're going to soon be leaving us and moving on to another school. And I'm not sure where you're going, but if you could, let's say again, wave your magic wand and create the absolute perfect school to go to, what is it you would make? I mean, what do you really, really want from education for the rest of your life?
I would want, well, I've never actually thought about this before, but I would want somewhere where you would get loads of help, and there would be teachers who would help you, and in like different subjects, and actually stay with you if you wanted it, and if they also were really fun as well, and like in playing games, and like maths games or English games or so and so. And I would also want people who wait, oh god, I don't know what I would want, but I would just want somewhere to go where you would get loads of help. It would be a fun school. You would be able to be yourself and not pretend to be someone else if you want to be in a group or so. And because that's not really who you are, and you're just pretending to be someone who you're not. I just want to go somewhere where you can just be yourself.
Wow, that sounds to me like the perfect school. And I think also for the rest of your life, you always want to be places where you can just be yourself, hey?
Yeah.
It's a tricky one, but it's a great goal to have, Devi, actually, to always want to be yourself. Wow, good for you. Coming back to Educare Small School, what do you think, what do you guess or think that you'll always remember about Educare?
I think I would remember how nice they were, and how they would, like what I've said before, how they would teach you stuff, and they would be really kind, and they would just, I don't know, I would just miss the whole school, because they're really, really kind. They help you when you really, really, really need it, and they give you advice that maybe will help you in other subjects and not just one of them. And yeah.
Wow. Can I ask you something? You've not been at Educare since the kindergarten, have you?
No.
So you were at another school before. And what was that other school like? Why did you come to Educare?
I felt that I didn't fit in there, and when I did ask for help, they would say that they would come, but then they didn't really come. They went to another person, and I just felt like they didn't want to come and help me. And the people there were just, some of them were really, really nice, but some of them were just like really, really mean, and there were loads of bullies in that school, and I just felt that I couldn't be in there anymore.
Wow. Well, I have to say, I'm sorry that you had that experience, but I'm really, really glad that we've been able to have you at Educare, because I think the school wouldn't be so marvelous without you. It's been great to have you, and I've really enjoyed knowing you, working with you, and I know that everyone, not just me, is going to really, really miss you, but be very happy for you that you're going to a new school and moving on, and hopefully going to find lots more friends. Do you think you'll make lots more friends at this new school?
Yeah. I also have like 10 friends who already go to that school, so I can go to them if yeah, it's kind of useful having friends in a new school, so you're not really that lost.
Yeah.
There's one more thing that I forgot to add. They, Educare, they give you colors that suit your height, which I find really useful. Because if you're really, really short, but then you have a really tall chair, you can't really get comfortable. And if you're really, really short, but then you have like a tall chair, you're like, you can't really. But yeah, there's different colors where you can sit on and you can just be comfortable. That's another thing I like.
Oh, I'm glad you like that, because over the years we've tried really hard to get furniture that fitted everybody and find a way of making it so that you could find a chair that did fit you. So I'm really pleased to hear that, Debbie. Thank you. It's great feedback. Oh my God, nobody's mentioned the chairs either so far. That's brilliant. That's a really nice thing to have mentioned. Devi, thank you so much for talking to me. It's been super, super interesting. And I hope you have a great time at your new school and a wonderful rest of your life. And I hope that we get to hear from you after you've left. And so I'm going to say goodbye for now. Bye, Devi.
I really enjoyed this chat, and thank you, and bye-bye.
Goodbye. Good on you, girl.
Goodbye.